Hello and welcome to another episode of Commander Fodder. I've got a big smile on my face at the moment, but I always tend to have one when I do these. I really like doing these. It's really fun to just see where the edhrec algorithm in archidekt sort of takes you, and the sort of recommendations it comes up with, the sort of slightly minimalistic fodder that I give it now. So you don't know quite where you're going to end up. But let's just look at what we're starting with, first of all. I'll show you the commander in a moment. So, as always, I set up a way of creating like a virtual pool of 6 packs. And then the idea is that I just take at least one of the rares from that. If it's a legend, then I take that. If it's not, then whatever rare I think I can, looks the most interesting, if you like. So when I came to do Odyssey, for that, for generating the packs, I used MTGen, and Entomb came up in a rare slot. So I thought, yeah, we'll have that. And so with Entomb, single black, it's pretty straightforward. Search your library for a card and put that card into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. I was also pretty happy that this came up because there is a degree of synchronicity here with a deck I was planning on flipping through on Friday, because at the moment I'm going through some of those premium decks, the foil ones. Well, the one for this Friday is going to be the graveyard deck. Was it Graveborn, I think, of which this is in there. So that's cool that came up. Also, I noticed that in the rares for the 6 virtual boosters, I had a petrified field. So this is a rare from Odyssey, a rare land. You'll notice that from yesterday's, when this goes out, so yesterday's episode of Deck Musings, where we're on Odyssey, obviously, because I synchronise these episodes when I put them together. But we were talking a little bit about some of the non-basic lands in there. So there's quite a number of interesting non-basic lands. I'm not saying all the lands are powerful, but they're just interesting to look at. And this particular non-basic land from Odyssey was a rare. I can't remember off the top of my head how many rares there were, because that didn't come up in the Deck Musings episode. I was mainly talking about the commons and the uncommons, just because of what was there were commons in the deck. Also got the land. I was pretty pleased that you get an opportunity to have some nice basic land artwork here, and so I picked these two. Why are we in black and green then, as opposed to mono black? Well, I chose to just pick, and of course, if I don't have a legendary that's in the pool, then I can just basically pick whatever I think could be fun. So I decided to go with Merrin of Clan Neltoth. Again, I probably could have done a whole load of different choices, starting off with Entomb. There's a ton of graveyard shenanigans stuff. In fact, I did an episode of, like an earlier episode of Commander Fodder when I was doing it in paper for a graveyard deck, and so initially I thought that that was in the deck, but when I checked it hasn't. So I don't think I've ever done a deck that's featured this before, but it may well have been featured in the process of either going through that series on the Commander Toolkit, or, like I said, as one of the alternative decks or alternative builds when I did a Commander Fodder episode way back when I was still doing them in paper. Probably only ever did one in paper, actually, because it can get a bit pricey. So we're going to go with Merrin, 2 black green. It's a 3/4 legendary creature, human shaman, and it is from actually a Commander 2015. So it was, I think, one of the alternate commanders. I don't know if this was, I just can't remember if this was the main commander or not. It was either main or alternate. So again, that's another episode where we would have seen that when I did a deck flip through, and I've done an unboxing of this. So yeah, what I'll try and do, I think, is in this episode, I'll link in the descriptions to all of those episodes I've mentioned, because I think they're quite relevant to this episode as well. So whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. So yeah, maybe this was the main commander. At the beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that card's converted mana cost is less than or equal to the number of experience counters you have, return it to the battlefield, otherwise put it in your hand. Okay. So if you look on edhrec with this particular commander, the sort of themes that come up the most are top is aristocrats, then pod, then sacrifice, then infect, then graveyard. And to some degrees, pod, sacrifice, graveyard, all the top ones, all have a graveyard related theme anyway. So let's just see where this is going to go. Really, we're just going to end up picking, the best cards for this particular scenario. So the presence of Entombed is further going to push us in the direction of sticking stuff in our graveyard. And now, of course, we're putting it in there with Mirren. It says whenever another creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. So we want stuff to die, so we're getting an experience counter. But you can see here at the beginning of your end step, choose target creature card in your graveyard. If that card's converted mana cost is less than or equal to the number of experience counters, you have return it to the battlefield. Otherwise, put it in your hand. So Entombed is an interesting way of cheating stuff into play that can then be got back through this ability, of course, based on the amount of experience counters. So we'll see what sort of interesting creatures edhrec suggests to us, amongst other things. Obviously, we need ways as well of, rather than just relying on Mirren's, rather than just creatures dying, obviously is going to help with the experience counters. We might want to get stuff in there apart from just stuff dying. And one possibility is Birthing Pod. Okay, one of the green sacrifice creatures. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1. Plus, I meant to say dying through combat damage, sorry. Yeah, dying in combat. So otherwise, apart from dying in combat. And this allows you to do that by sacking a creature, searching the library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrifice. Put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library, activate this ability only any time you could cast a sorcery. Well, of course, it's only a one-off, but it is featuring fairly high up. Again, we've got Reanimate, so a way of getting stuff out, another way, apart from through Mirren's ability, but we lose life equal to the converted mana cost. And then Buried Alive, which lets us do 3 creatures. I wonder if we might see some self-mill stuff as well. Certainly black and green are a great way of getting stuff into the graveyard by a number of means. Obviously, if we had access to blue, we might see a few more self-mill cards. And certainly we had some, at least one self-mill thing. Was it Midikind in Odyssey from yesterday's Deck Musings episode, which is an artifact. The other thing here is, I could have played like I wonder if there's a black, green, blue commander or something like that that you can play around with graveyard stuff. Okay. Well, we'll put these in. In terms of fixing for mana, let's take a quick look at that. What is it going to suggest? Underground Seaman's about finish of 2 or more opponents. Okay, that looks like. We'll put Phyrexian Tower in. Command Tower, obviously. That's cool. I don't really play these that much. Let's do that filter land. We'll do Bojuka Bog to sort of nerf other players' graveyards. Tainted Wood. Cabal Coffers. I could play that. Yeah, we'll stay. Let me just redo this actually. What else have we got? Anything else that might help us here? Yeah, I'm just looking for interesting utility. Why not Colgrari Rock Farm? Do I want to scry? Maybe. Should I run these? Yeah. Okay. We're not going to try and make this super budget, obviously. Let's actually change the view here. Okay. Actually, I did forget to raise these up. What do I want to do here? What do we reckon? Okay, let's just be a bit boring here. $37. Okay. Right, done. I don't see many other utility lands being recommended. Obviously, they're not being run in a lot of the other in the decks that are in edhrec that run the other cards. Do I want to run an Evolving Wild and a? We'll see. Right, let us think about some artifacts, maybe. So maybe going to be mostly going to be creatures in here, but let's just look at some other stuff. So, Soul Ring. See, I wonder if I put this in now, it might encourage it to create lots of, or pick lots of small creatures. Okay, I do want to run that. I also want to protect my commander. I don't know, do I want to run a load of rocks? Swift boots. Ashnod and that. Yeah, we'll stick with that at the moment. I don't want to gum up too many slots that I could be using for creatures. Right, so spot removal really, and other things that might help us with our graveyard synergy. Destroy target opponent, permanent opponent controls it. Basic land card. Instant speed. I think I want a tutor here. Putrefy. Abrupt decay. I think I'll run a worldly tutor actually. Do I want a dark ritual? I'm just going to switch over to the sorceries. Let's see what we've got. Choose to target creature cards. You want to sacrifice a creature. If you do, return. Okay. Demonic Tutor. Each player exiles all creature cards from his or her graveyard, then sacrifices all creatures he or she controls, and puts all cards he or she exiled this way in the battlefield. Okay, I'm just looking at off screen. I'm just double checking Mirren's ability here, so that's interesting. Return of the Witch King. Toxic Deluge. Yeah. If you have an opportunity to run a Damnation, you might as well take it. Cultivate. Maybe if I've got lots of small stuff. The gift that keeps on giving. Okay. Ten sorceries, 7 instants. Yeah. So we've got our sorceries, we've got our instants, we've got our artifacts. Next, let's move on to enchantments. Okay, Animate Dead, of course. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature. Yep. Whenever a creature you control dies, you gain 1 life and you draw a card. Double yet. Whenever a creature you control dies, each other player sacrifices the creature. Okay. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature in your graveyard, well, it won't. Draw a card. Do I want to run a meat hook massacre? Tempting. Let's just stick around there for the moment. What's our curve looking like? Ooh. Okay. I don't think I want to reduce the amount of land. See how we have, what suggestions we get for planeswalkers. Okay, Liliana. Yeah, that looks good. Right, creature time. Okay, yeah, lots of small creatures here, which we can also skull clamp. Right. For the creature who plays Orca. Spore frog. Of course, we've got experience counters, haven't we? So yeah, we do want to think about that. So there's all things like this. Teleport Cutthroat, Blood Artist. There's another one that, you know, when a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Deathrite Shaman. Okay, so this can get rid of individual stuff from other people's graveyard as well. Then we've got, oh yeah, this sort of thing where it's stapled. So I should run those. Yeah. Do I want to run a solemn? Maybe. Worm, acidic slime, now I think Poison Tip Archer. Oh yeah, Butcher. Fauna Shaman. That would be good. Sure. sack outlet. Beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each player will sacrifice shares a card type. It's quite good. It's got a May on it. And a Gary. Cremation Sage. Where are we? They did quite a bit in here. 28 creatures. Okay, we've got 4 more. So let's see where this might take us. Oh, of course, Fleshbag Marauder. Yeah. So DC does have exploit. This creature is about for you may sacrifice a creature when sees. Okay, what's going on here with goats? This is an interesting thing because you can get loads of plant tokens and then skull clamp them early on. Maybe I'll just run, I say early on, that's turn 7. Yeah, maybe I'll just put that into play around. Okay. Black and green. Yeah, we'll just have a little bit of that. Of course, I forgot about things like Viridian Emissary and the Death Priest, which I believe was in the same deck as Mirren. Is there something here I want to cut? Just get a few more creatures in here. Maybe I'll leave it like that for the moment. Okay, so let's export this just in case. And then we will do some sample hands. Just see how castable this deck is. What does this look like? Maybe I'll leave it like that for the moment. Okay. Yeah. We'll have to see. Let's go into the plate tester. Right. What do we got? So we have, oh that's good. Swamp, Soul Ring, Swiftfoot Boots, Putrefy, and Ashnod's Altar. Okay, we'll keep that. What's this one? Can we get the Scry for 1 if we want to? Well, let's just... Okay, so that's turn 4. Okay, why don't we do this? So, turn 1 Soul Ring. And then, with the Soul Ring out, Swiftfoot Boots is due to cast, so we can cast our Swiftfoot Boots. Draw a card. So anything we want to cast here. Well, we can get that out tapped. We can scry for 1. Oh, we definitely want that. Play that out. So we've got enough mana. Draw. For next turn, play that. Cast our Merith, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I want to equip it with our Swiftfoot Boots, so we can do that on this turn. And then we're away, so we can start. Yep. Now we don't have any creatures at the moment. Oh, here we go. So we can use this to destroy a target creature. So we can cast that at some point. What's this say on it? Oh yeah, we definitely want that out at some point. It also makes our swamps, our stuff swamps. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could cast that. Yeah, why not? Although we do need something to stick in front of it. Maybe I'll get this out. Blow up a creature, assuming an opponent has one out. Okay, I should hold on to that. Now, boom, and everything at the moment is castable. Yep, so yeah, we're not too bad here. Got plenty of mana. We can hold this back for the moment. I think we're good. Yeah, okay, good. Let's do another draw. Oh wow, okay, so that's fine. Right, so what do we want really? Okay, we'll do that. And I can. I've got my Grizzly Salvage. Should I need it? Got this. Okay. Maybe we just cast that. So I'm going to do Kodama's Reach. And this is playable. Yeah, it's just nice to have out. So Mirren is now castable. Yeah. No. Hold on to it for a moment. Get that out. Oh yeah, could always reach at any time if I wanted to. More land. We've got a birthing pod, so we can get that out. Okay, good. It's not too bad. Okay, to land. Let's do this. Spore frog. That we can shriek more an opponent if we need to. We've got Sek'Kuar Deathkeeper. We've got Fiend Artisan. Get that out. Oh, Grill the Grizzly Salvage. Maybe I'll cast that. Do that. And sack it when we get a problem. It's fine. Okay. Looking good. Birthing pod, and so on. Good. Maybe one more. Oops. Right. Command Tower, High Market as our land. Got a skull clamp. Probably could have got that out actually. Previous turn. Okay, High Market. Lightning Greaves. It's fine. So what I'll do, I'll just play that, bounce that. Anything I could tutor at this point. Got a putrefy. This is castable. I'm going to equip that. It's Animate Dead. It's High Market. Ashnod. That's pretty high cost, so can't really do anything there. I can grizzly salvage if I wanted to. Card out. Okay. Yep, we'll stop there. So not too much trouble getting stuff out. Again, another deck I suppose you just want to try and then play around with, tweak it in here, because there's so many different avenues you can go down. Maybe try a few different utility creatures. Even make the curve a little bit lower on the creature side of things. I don't think there's anything I want to cut anywhere, just so I can even increase the creature count even more. I suppose if I'm adding utility creatures that are going to either search for land or blow stuff up, then yeah, I could cut back some sorceries and instants as well and have those in doing sort of double duty. Okay, thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will see you in a future episode.